Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the council meeting. It's at 5 till I guess it'll be 7:30, and then we'll be in camera for the rest of the evening. So we'll go for meeting called to order at 5:03. And adoption of the agenda. Any additions or deletions?
With Towfiq's in camera.
Okay. Just in camera.
I have a HM at the very end.
Okay.
I have an addition too, just some discussion.
Okay.
Yeah.
In camera.
No, that doesn't matter.
Put you in right in after administration.
Okay.
I was leaking along. Vehicles are just shooting
Are
up
there any other additions? I get a motion to accept the agenda. David, by Doug. All in favor. Next is meeting minutes. For the action items, the first one from April 24th.
Page 35 and 35.
I read. Get the assistant to circulate the meeting dates and upcoming chief and council.
It's done.
Done. Towfiq, executive director, to reach out to FME regional manager and email to council confirming dates available for training. Done, and that's June 6th. That's going to be here at the BSL. And shite again.
Done.
Done. Recognition building conference. Page 35.
Oh, really? Done.
Next one is manager update. Actually, can I get a motion to accept the minutes from April 24th? Tash, by Tash, seconded by Jamie. All in favor? Carried. Now, is page 71, or 1 of 71 for department. So, fit. The registered chief and council to the ICBC event circulating calendar invitation accordingly.
Done. I had already sent the meeting invitation to council members.
Okay. Towfiq, again, 1, 2, and 3.
With Kianco, it is done. The meeting invite to council members for the training session, once confirmed, it is done. To prepare and send the letter of support to Les Thomas after it signed the chief and council, so it is done. Same day with the AGM Date.
The WAD. Finally, but it was a WAD. Submitted draft contract that's for finance chief and council. This one's
In progress.
in progress. The WAD to draft formal proposal in terms of reference to establish a governance board for the offers of housing for council's review. In process.
In progress, yes.
Alan, to distribute a full presentation. Summary to all council members.
I sent it to you.
Those
Done.
today. Yeah.
Evan, these are both in camera, so check those ones later. And progress.
So this one is like, it is in progress. As soon as it is available. So the stage is like, even engage the lawyer already.
Okay.
We go through the all documentation and review the documentation of the property.
Okay. Next one, done.
In progress.
In progress. Okay. I get a mover for the department update. May 9th. Install. I can leave one on the play. In favor. Carried. Everyone will grab dinner before we start the next presentation from Greyhound. Yeah, grabbing the dinner.
I'm just going in the shop. No,
You're there.
because we bad.
Grab dinner,
Coming
have a
from one
work
side.
dinner.
I think it's this one stupid little piece and it's really hard to get to. It's just a seal.
No, she's here, so we'll wait for.
And I went to go start my truck and I kept the battery on, so it wouldn't start. So I'm driving a leaky fucking car. So pissed off. All my vehicles are going down, Doug.
Well, you're just a battery in your old truck.
Well, yeah, I put it on a turbocharger right away. I haven't driven the engine in like 3 or 4 days. It's got a grounding issue because the amp I put in somewhere.
It's all the truck's fault.
I know. That's a great truck. It tried starting and then it just didn't have it up, you know.
Grab some dinner.
Yeah, it's there. How's it going?
Yeah.
Oh, good. Having a day. Just having a day. Everything is going wrong, but oh well, we'll finish it up here.
Yeah, I can do that.
Thank you. Thank you.
Just grab dinner.
What is it then? You want good dinner?
I cannot eat that.
Oh, what is that?
They have all the items like I do not eat like there is no halal item actually.
There is no.
Halal item things. Yeah, on break for Charles, but they will be coming in just 2 minutes. They'll have to just grab it and they'll have it here.
We're gonna start with the round table. We'll start with Miranda before she takes a bite.
Hello, my name is Miranda Seymour. I'm a newly elected council member.
Hi, I'm Nasir Ahmed. I'm finance manager for the bank.
Shahid Nasir, executive assistant.
Towfiq Islam, Executive Director.
Crystal Gibbs, council.
Chief Dolly Morgan.
Dominic Frederick, Council.
Tashina Seymour, council.
Clay Boatney, council.
Doug Wilson, council.
Jamie Bird, council.
My name is Lorna Paul. I'm the Indigenous Cultural Advisor for BC Emergency Health Services, and my area coverage is the north.
My name is Darren Waller. I'm the Clinical Operations Manager for BC Emergency Health Services Infant Storage.
And online, Val.
Val McIntosh, Councillor.
Charles.
Yes, Madam my name's Charles Nelson. I'm a manager for Indigenous Health for BC Emergency Health Services, overseeing the Indigenous cultural advisors through the province. Thank you.
Welcome. So again, we are listening and we're going to continue eating, but you have the table.
Charles, can you share the presentation, please? Doesn't work, but I can do it.
Were you asking me, Lorna?
Yes, can you share the presentation?
Sure.
Thank you. There we go. Again, my name is Lorna Paul. I'm the Indigenous Cultural Advisor for BC Emergency Health Services. Originally, I'm from Nilhts'I, so I'm go to the next slide.
Sorry, the sound went on it. I'll go on to the next slide.
Within BC Emergency Health Services, we begin this presentation by acknowledging Indigenous lands upon we live and work. The territories of over 203 First Nations in British Columbia, as well as the Inuit and Métis peoples, remain integral to the fabric of this region. We recognize the deep connections Indigenous communities have to these lands and their long outstanding stewardship. This acknowledgement is more than words. It is commitment to fostering respectful relationships and engaging in meaningful collaboration. Through this work, we strive to support and uplift Indigenous voices while ensuring that cultural traditions and values are honored. BCEHS staff are very thankful to work, live, and play in the unceded ancestral land of the Lheidli people. Next slide. Right now, as we've mentioned, we're renovating the Greyhound station. It's going to, as far as I know, and correct me if I'm wrong, we're amalgamating the station, the Hart Highway and Edmonton Street ambulance stations into the Greyhound.
Oh.
So it will house all of the ambulances. The new station will be 540. What we're here and what I'm wishing for is highlights in the multicultural room. The new ambulance building is designed with efficiency and staff well-being in mind. One of the most notable additions is the debrief and multicultural room, a dedicated space for reflection, cultural exchange, and staff mental wellness. This feature ensures a more inclusive and supportive work environment. The facility optimizes with key functional areas, including dorms, kitchens, and lounge spaces, exercise and training rooms, and specialized medical storage. Each area is strategically planned to improve workflow and enhance response capabilities. Ultimately, the layout is structured to facilitate operational efficiency, ensuring that the emergency teams can function seamlessly in high-pressure situations. With the state-of-the-art infrastructure, this facility is set to enhance ambulance services and community care. Next slide. And again, this is our wonderful, wonderful station. As you can see, it's very compact, but every place in the office is planned carefully. As you see, the rounds where the orange circle is that's where the multicultural and debrief room will be placed. And it's very close to the dorms. As you can see where the ambulances are going to be parked. This is the front area, but I do believe that is the front area of the office. And then in the back is, not the back, but the side where the turquoise area is training facilities. So what we're looking for is basically what we would like to see is because we are on Lheidli territory, we're on your land, we're visitors, we're uninvited visitors here, and what we are looking for is we're looking for artwork. We want to showcase Lheidli in our ambulance station. And because I feel that it's important to not to pick out any artists, I would like a recommendation from council as to if you have an artist on staff or somebody that within the community that can showcase their goods and their wonderful artwork. We would love to have pieces all over the station.
We do have smaller pieces from Victor Morris, and the two other ones is Kim Gucci and Jennifer Piggin would be good ones.
I know Kim Gucci. I see some of her stuff, and I was like, she's phenomenal.
And her son, I want to say Dan Desjardins.
So if we can have some sort of, go ahead to the next slide. It's very simple. It's just the
Ray Desjardins, right?
Again, our multicultural room. When it was discussed, I was approached about it, and because I'm Indigenous, I feel that it shouldn't be just an Indigenous room. It should be a multicultural room because we've got all races that work within BCHS. Mm-hmm. And I feel that to showcase Lheidli, it would be an honor and a privilege to showcase some of the artwork in the building. And, if it's placed in the multicultural room or if it's placed in front of the building or what have you, because one thing I know and I understand is that artists are very gifted, and I'd love to see pieces because where we work, where we live, sometimes every day I stare at walls and I don't see a whole lot, and I'd love to see pieces from the community, and it would bring it a more homely fashion.
And another thing we do is land acknowledgements. So we do have a plaque. We've probably seen them all over through storage.
That would be wonderful.
Yeah, I would say a few things on what Lorna said. And what's really important to me, and really the fabric of the lands and the people. We are an invited guests, and So this facility, I think of it as a place of refuge for our crews. Our crews will return to this home after doing some of the most traumatic, horrific calls, and they'll also go into this place after delivering babies and doing the most magical, amazing things. And so one of the things that is really important to me is when a crew arrives there for their shift, or like, this is where I belong, this is my safe place. But also, it is very important that we acknowledge that we are uninvited guests. And it's important that the word fabric just resonates with me, that we incorporate the fabric of the culture of the lands that we're in. So, like Lorna said, throughout, we're working on names right now. Lorna's working with other Indigenous colleagues to make sure our names really reflect this place that we're sharing now. But and we're asking for your blessing on it. But so the name, I'll maybe spend a minute on that. There was a paramedic who started in Prince George, educated to the highest levels he could, was a mentor. He was very empathetic, and he passed suddenly several years ago. But he embodied all of those characteristics and qualities of caregivers. So with the naming that Lorna's doing, we want to incorporate even more into that. So we've got some ideas about that. But particularly back to the artwork, there'll be a sign on the building memorializing it, and with whatever clearly wording and signage is on there. We have the building is quite modern with glass and glazing, and I'm interested in so I don't know what we have for a budget. I just know we have a budget. It's part of it's going to be coming out of furniture, and this room particularly that we're talking about, the whole point of it is it's not going to be like a commercial space it's going to be a place of comfort, a place where people can debrief, a place where students and their mentors can talk, a real place of comfort, and for people to come together and feel like that's home. And it is really important to Lorna and I that the images and the art supports these lands that we're on. So in addition to sort of individual art pieces and artists and ideas, I think I would also even consider, like, is there an artist or a copyright where we could maybe say, yeah, that's a piece of art, we'd like to get it glazed on some of our glass, that sort of thing. So I'm sort of asking without a lot of answers, but I guess what we're looking for is maybe it's advice on artists. And then I can go back with our designers. So the building is actively underway, and we're supposed to move in December. We're going to start discussing sort of furniture and art and what we have in budgets for these and where we can do that. Building. It's yeah. Any questions on that?
No, but going off of what Darlene suggested, Kim Gucci and her son Ray. Daughter. Oh, sorry, daughter Ray. Okay, sorry. They did one of the murals at the new pool. So if you've seen the mural in that building, then yeah, you're able to go and actually look at their work and see if that's something.
And it's kind of cool how they do it, because he does his all on the computer first. Yeah. So he gets the rendering and stuff, and then he sends it to you if you like it.
Would it be all right with you if we started a relationship with him and then maybe he can give us quotes for some of these different ideas? And then
I think you contact Kim.
That'd be great. Okay. And then, of course, the other piece, we'd really love your permission and participation when it gets closer in opening it. What that looks like. I'm not quite sure what it looks like yet, but it is important to us.
Because you're not gonna have ambulances stationed in the heart anymore?
No, I think so. Likely not. And what we're finding, so the reality of current storage and ambulance operations is the ambulances that are in the heart, they're 90% of the time when they get a call, they're coming downtown licensed sirens for a call. When you measure it about sort of response times for patients, more often than not, patients requiring emergency services are being delayed from that transit from the heart down to here. There are several other elements. That facility is really aged. It isn't suitable anymore. And challenges with crew fatigue. So as you can imagine, the crews that work downtown, by virtue of being closer, they're working all night long. The crews that are at the heart, they will have very quiet nights. So there's several elements to it. I think the main one that is important to me is that when you draw a map of where all of the ambulance calls happen in Prince George, the high acuity calls, the very sick patients that need time with, the Greyhound is exactly where it needs to be to respond to those really time sensitive critical calls. And it is a way, like we don't have a station everywhere. So what is the best position for the best patient outcomes for the majority of the patients we're serving? And so that was the decisions surrounding that.
Oh,
It's what type of archery were you thinking of? Like, I heard someone say something about the mural.
mhm.
I was thinking maybe you should look into it and maybe visit the museum and get some ideas of what it is that we have to showcase on Lheidli tonight, and that'll give you a good idea of who we are and where we came from and how it is that we lived here on this land before time, and I think you did something with that, including the two rivers, the reading of the two rivers, because that's where our community was, right in between. We stretched out as far as, can I say, on the river, not the river? You can see.
To get inspired and get some inspiration.
When people come there, they're going to see, well, if you wanted to showcase us, our people in the beginning of the time, then that's what you would look for,
No, that's very good. Yeah, thank you very much.
Landing or going on the river with the dugouts and stuff like that. I think there's a lot of stuff out there that you can look at to showcase Lheidli Tani.
I think going off of what Domo just said, to our people, water is very healing. The river and being on the water is something that is very healing. And if that is something that you're after for your ambulance drivers.
Isn't that we were when we were banding around names and we were trying to, I certainly wouldn't even pretend to be able to know what would be most suitable, but we did find the reference to the healing in the waters and the rivers, and so we were going to go through that. So it's it's almost like it was it's probably the path that the name needs to go, because that's we are. There's two pieces, I think, to this facility. One, it's about my people, it's about my staff, that they feel safe, it's their home. But the other is it's about the service we provide, which is healing, pre-hospital care, rescues, emergencies. And so it's not just about us, but it's about the community. Yeah, that's really good.
When we were, when Darren and I were talking about the name, and we were trying to figure out, because he wanted to incorporate the river, because the two rivers Late. And what is, we were talking about, and I was talking to a coworker about it, and I was trying to figure out how best we can put the name forward with Lheidli involved, as well as the fallen paramedic. And then I was thinking about it, and then, I had to go around and ask paramedics. I was like, who's this person? What is he like? What, the words empathetic came up, kindness.
Yeah.
If he had his shirt and you wanted it, he would give it to you type of person. So I was like, okay, he's a big man, but he's not a big man, but we want to compare him to a hereditary person, but he's not a hereditary person. So I was working with a coworker, and it's still in the works, but I'm hoping that we can come up with a really unique name for the station. And naturally, again, we would have Lheidli involved as well.
Yeah.
And it'd be fantastic. I'm looking forward to seeing the inside of it. And because right now, as far as I know, they're at the stage of mudding.
Yeah, we're getting them. And just maybe a little background too. So we are under the Provincial Health Services Authority, and they have naming policies and guidelines. And fortunately, and probably predictably, those strongly encourage the work we're doing. So our names, they need to represent the fabric of the place that we're at. So it was almost like, oh, that's perfect, because it really. So the way this will happen is we'll have several recommendations that will go to. I'm not sure what level in the Ministry of Health ultimately says, yeah, that's it. But it's strongly based on our recommendations, based on the work we do now. So we didn't talk about this ahead of time, but would it be acceptable to this council that we present with you some of the names that we come up with?
Absolutely.
And it would probably be within the next couple of weeks.
Elders as well?
Yeah.
Not to most elders.
Maybe this is an opportunity for us to.
That is the name, and the elders can do it, change it, well, have the health underneath it.
Yeah, and really seek some of that advice that we really should be from the elders.
I was thinking of what you were talking about just a minute ago in regards to the name and the amalgamating our history, part of our history with this person that we don't know who he is yet, but you guys know him, and acknowledging him too from when he came into the territory and started working on behalf of your people and being one of the anchors for the ambulance in the city. That I think you can probably do it, but we have to really emphasize that this is Lheidli territory, and that this is the guy that came in and he built his work around the territory at this time, and these are the people that were here when he came here,
And I guess we are a bit 11th out.
And even though he's not a hereditary person, you can still acknowledge him in the high sense, so that he is well known. He will be well known after this. So you're not only acknowledging about the nation, and we are giving it back to you.
So we're in a time crunch.
Okay.
Yeah,
First, no, I mean for the name.
yeah, I think, and literally with the last building group, I was asked, so we need to order the signing, we need to start ordering the sign for the building. So I committed to that by the end of May, we'd have a decision. So maybe what we can commit to the council today is by the end of next week, we can present you with what we have, and then we gratefully welcome any feedback, suggestions, and perhaps even maybe a little bit better of a biography of the paramedic that will recognize them for you to understand why we feel he's so important.
Yeah, we need to send it to Towfiq. Towfiq will.
Yeah, you'll just leave it all with it.
And then, so the next timeline will be, we'll get that, and then we'll make those recommendations to the PHSA. And, with any luck, the sign builders will have their answer, in the time that they need it. But, I also think there's gonna be an opportunity here. If we're not quite ready, we don't wanna rush it. So I'll emphasize that this work's important. And whatever signage, it might have to wait, but we'll get this ready, so.
Yeah, 3 more minutes if you'd like.
It was, like I said, it was very unique to come up, when we were talking about the name. Because my coworker, he's and you're all gonna have a good chuckle about this. My coworker, he's a community paramedic. He works out of Fraser Lake, but he's non-Indigenous, but he knows more of the language. He's like Bill Poser. And he's got so much knowledge. Like, there's things that he's asking me, and I'm like, how do you know that? I forget that he's in the NVIT course, and he's going to school with my nation, and I'm just like floored with that. And I'm like, okay, the next one I'm definitely going to go. But he's very fluent. He's like Bill Poser, and him and I, we were talking back and forth, and we kept asking. I kept telling him, I said, this person, I said, we have to recognize. Yes, we're going to recognize him, but we have to recognize him in a certain way where, yeah, he's a big person, but he's not hereditary, but he's on the same line as a hereditary. So that was one of the things that we were going back and forth about. And Ivan is phenomenal, and he's going to actually help me. We're going to break it down, and then we can bring it back to council, and then we can meet possibly with the elders as well.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Good.
Okay.
Get up. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having us. And, yeah.
So it'll be up and running this summer.
December is
December's
the plan. So when they said December, so I would say February. But yeah, that's it. Everything's on track. So we're pretty excited about it.
To go back to
You know how it'll be bouncing back and forth until it's all done. I haven't seen the preliminaries yet, but I'm looking forward to it.
Next council meeting, make sure the front door is open.
I need my business card with the name, which is, and I would welcome any questions or. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you.
It's very much. Thank you. Yeah. Thank you. Good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Charles. Yeah, so just happening.
Thank you.
It's awesome. I used to ride the Greyhound back when I was a kid, like that station. I remember it well. Yeah.
For the next is Eric.
There's McLean basketball, all native basketball tournament.
There's a lot and
Try and get friendship reruns.
Lenora brought pie in for everybody.
What?
There's
Pie over there if you want pie.
banana green.
Say what?
Look.
Hey.
Going for a little bit.
And the hot seats are down there.
Maybe the staple my tape. Banana cream pie.
I know, I'm just. Yeah.
Makes it really fast.
I know, and I'm trying not to be. Hey, how's it going, Eric? Oh, pretty good. How are you? Yeah, good to see you too. Thank you.
Thank you.
Everyone has one last one. Right?
No, no.
Sure.
Yeah. Good rate. I gotta test my will, you know?
So good luck with it.
Oh yeah, it's going good.
I lose for that every day.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Winning.
More important things to be successful with.
When we were getting ready to go for dinner, I was like, "Oh, William."
Hey, Erica will do a roundtable before.
Hey,
Brenda takes my-
Oh, I don't remember that either. Oh,
Sir, I'm a finance manager.
Shahid Nasir, executive assistant.
Towfiq Islam, executive director.
Hi, Erica. Crystal Gibbs.
Keep going, Logan.
Government budget, okay.
Sheen Seymour Council.
Lheidli Council.
Wilson Council.
Meet you. Thank you so much for having me. Am I on?
And online we have,
Okay, sorry.
oh my gosh.
Hi, Tom McIntosh Council.
So Erica, you have the table.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I know that you probably have a very busy schedule, so I'll jump right in. Thank you so much, and congratulations to new council. I had the privilege of attending your swearing in not too long ago, so that was so cool to witness. So thank you. A bit of background for those who haven't heard this story before. So myself and a school district liaison, who you probably know, Kat Van has, the assistant superintendent. Last year, we came to present at a Lheidli Council meeting, basically with two asks. So there's a small group, we're a small committee of volunteers who had lots of conversations over the years of wanting to bring all native basketball to Prince George. There's feeling like there's, a pretty big resident population of Indigenous people from so many different nations, as you know. So we just kind of kept having the conversation over the years, but there was enough of us who came together last year who said, can we make this happen? And so, of course, the first step, being on Lheidli T'enneh territory, was to come and present to council and request permission to use the name Lheidli Classic. And there was a symbolic ask, which I'll talk more about today. But I'll talk a little bit about the background of the tournament. So we hosted the very first Lheidli Classic tournament in November, and it was an amazing experience. I want to offer a little bit of a debrief. We did acknowledge, we're a small group of volunteers. In the end, there might have been maybe 6 of us, and kind of 2 people leading and kind of doing most of the heavy lifting. But it's a lot of learning. And if any folks are unfamiliar, there's the annual, I can't even remember. It might be the 65th or something that just happened in Prince Rupert. And that's awesome. Like, it would be so cool to start to build momentum that way. There's 30, 40, maybe 50 teams. I don't even know actually how many teams attend that annual tournament, but I know that they have been building it for so long. But the feedback, so we kind of just set out with very small goals last year, which was build relationships with the basketball community and kind of center Lheidli as a place where we can host these kinds of events, because it's an amazing location and there's so much infrastructure and there's so much opportunity for relationships, just because of all of those things. So last year, and we really did communicate that to the community, was we are coming from a learning place. Like, we don't know what we don't know. It's not going to be perfect the first year, but the intention is to build trust and build relationships with the sport community. And, just acknowledge that we're going to learn and we want to grow. It was great. We got lots of feedback from teams saying that they would love the idea of coming here. They love the location. Like, for example, we had a men's team from Bella Coola who said, it's 8 hours for us, which is awesome because anywhere else it's 2 days travel for them. We had teams from Treaty 8 First Nation. It was a 15-hour bus ride for them to come here. And we had some incredible, our championship team. So the team who won They have former Division I basketball players, like players who are from some American First Nations. Like, there's so much opportunity, is what I'm kind of getting. Like, it was a great first experience. So with that momentum, our team had a little bit of a debrief March or so, and kind of said, okay, I guess we're going to do it again. We're going to keep trying. And that's, yeah, it was a good experience. And so going forward, you can see the poster in front of you. Thank you to the staff who were able to have a look over and share the logo to make it look really fancy and cool. So we are going ahead with the tournament. You can see the dates here. What you have in front of you is a package of what potential sponsors are receiving. So we are going to, again, ask the community to show up and really help support this. We did have a ton of support last year. Canadian Tire was the title sponsor, and Prestige Hotel Group was our hotel partner, in which, so if teams book with them, then they give us a little bit of money at the end of the tournament. Yes. And they're eager to support this again this year, so they'll continue on to be our partner. And yeah, we learned a lot, and are just going to keep working on building those relationships with sponsors, with community, and with the basketball community. So with that, again, coming with an ask, similar to last year, is that symbolic ask, which is what we talked about of player recognition. So if Lheidli is willing, and I should preface this by saying, I am coming with an ask today, but if there's something that you want to take away as a group and talk about, if you want to support in a different way, please feel free to do that. I often find it's easier to present something. You say yes or no, or if somebody else has an idea later that you want to just say, well, maybe we could do this instead. I'm totally open to that. I'm just bringing this ask forward as an idea, which is, so player recognition. Often what tournaments will do is a player of the game shirt, so about 30 games, so 30 t-shirts, and then t-shirts for the top two teams, like second and third place. We're hoping to have women's and men's brackets. Last year we had to fold the women's, but we ended up, so you'll see 10 men's, 6 women's. That was the plan last year, but we ended up having to fold that because we couldn't get enough women's. But we ended up having 12 men's teams, 11 eventually. So the hope is around, I would say, 50 or 60 t-shirts, and then hoodies for the championship team, which would be about 12 to 15 hoodies. And I could support with that, or I could work with like a little subgroup of what that might look like and timelines and stuff. I'm more than happy to come back and go back and forth and kind of have that conversation of whatever you need. So that's kind of what I'll end with, is that I am more than happy to take on that basketball, like the operations, the coordinating part of it, just because that's what I enjoy doing. But I just want to be very clear, like the intention is to center Lheidli and, amplify Lheidli as an amazing place to host these kinds of things. So if there are ways that that you see, I could help facilitate that relationship building with the community, with the basketball community, I mean, having your team come out and watch a game, we can do photo ops, or we can do some, we got some cake donated last year from Save On. So maybe you can come and hand out cake, the sky's the limit really on those kinds of things. And if there's something that you would like to do or be a part of, I'm more than happy to support that.
Sorry, the question might be a silly one. When you say the t-shirts and the hoodies, are you meaning Lheidli t-shirts and hoodies?
Specifically for the tournament.
Right.
Yes. Yeah. So it would be maybe your logo and Lheidli Classic or something on it, or maybe it just says POG on the sleeve or something like that.
Said 60 t-shirts and how many hoodies?
12 to 15. I tried to kind of do some ballpark number. I imagine this be close to $2,000 maybe. I'm not sure. In my head, that's what I was thinking, but
We did that last year, didn't we?
no, we ended up.
Well, we did so.
Josh brought t-shirts.
Yes.
They were just Claytley t-shirts.
Yeah.
And this year, this year, I just wanted to do like very focused on the tournament itself, or something that says, you know, is a little more defined for like, and we just gave like to the winning team. And so this year, I just want to like step it up a little bit.
Who would be in charge of designing the t-shirts and hoodies?
If there is, it really doesn't matter. Like I could with somebody from here, or we could bring it back. Like it really doesn't matter.
And even if you have some ideas or something like capabilities, if you got like our logo and stuff, you can work with them a little bit. And they're pretty good at, like, they'll shoot a few designs out and be like, what do you think about this or this or this? So.
Yeah.
Or you can design something and go in and talk to them and see if they can do it. And then they're pretty good at telling you the best way.
As long as you have our logo and stuff like that.
They, Capabilities has our logo.
Yeah,
exactly. On file, all of it over there.
Yeah, my band got a lot of stuff done there. 200 shirts, like hats and everything.
Yeah, if that's something, like I am more than happy to do that. If you know, I just want to like give you all lots of space to talk about it and figure out what you're most comfortable with, for sure.
Kind of sounds like we're okay with the shirts.
Yeah.
I just want our input. That's it.
Yes, yeah. And that's like if that's the best way forward, knowing that you all are super busy, I could go to capabilities and come up with like numbers and an idea, and then just have it sent back here. So
yeah.
Okay.
You can send me the email.
Champions.
Okay. Awesome. Great.
Do you look for volunteers on the day, like for the tournament?
Yeah. So last year we had, it was just us with our first aid kits, recognizing that that's not good enough. So we are going to, we're going to look for a sponsor who can cover first aid. And then the hope is that we'll have site hosts for the day of, for the weekend of. And so just kind of schedule people in shifts. So there's going to be 2 gyms. Schedule people in for shifts, and then those people will be active site hosts. So just like answering questions, you know, housekeeping, like where the bathrooms are, where first aid is, where a good restaurant is, and then the player of the game parts. So, you know, we'll establish some criteria for the player of the game, like whether it be the high scorer of the winning team. That's usually kind of the default. And then they award a player of the game t-shirt after each game.
Like she's volunteering to play center.
I was just wondering if,
Opening tip off. Yes.
I don't know, if any Claytley youth or even community members.
Well, and that would be amazing. Like, I find it's just those little things. So I was hoping to actually have some youth, like, you know, we'll have protein bars, Gatorade, like all of those competition friendly things, and just have youth kind of giving those out to the players and just people, you know, just kind of making it like a nice, welcoming environment. So yes, absolutely. If we can have some youth to the league center, that would be awesome.
We do have 2 that work with the youth. So
Okay, awesome. I can
projects.
Can I pencil that part in as potentially having some youth involved as site hosts? Because that would be awesome.
Yeah, we can arrange something for sure.
Awesome. Okay. Okay.
Just a question in terms of this event. I don't know the background of it, so I'm sort of guessing that Lheidli is going to be the hosting the basketball tournament in Prince George. And how is it that are we going to host it? What can we do to represent our nation in terms of what's going to be happening there.
Love that. And it's a good question. Something that I would leave with you for sure. And
The way it sounds like now is that you're coming to us and you're asking us, can we do this or can we do that? So I'm just turning around saying, well, are we going to be the host or what? You know, like.
And this is how I see it. And feel free to have to throw in that dialogue, because I appreciate that in trying to figure out especially.
I think it's important because we need to be firm and we need to be frank about who we are and where we are and how we're doing and how this is going to be done, you know. Because I know, if you don't know, but I've heard about the basketball happening in Prince Rupert and all the native tournaments that go on over there. And it's phenomenal, you know, and if you don't know Jackie Brown sort of.
Actually,
He's on the board.
Yeah.
And he wanted to be here tonight.
Yeah.
So Jackie is a part of the committee.
Sort of, me and Jackie talked about this years ago. Like
He talked about this stuff.
Yeah.
I remember Jackie. Yeah, he loves basketball. Native basketball for sure.
Yes. And so what we had done last year, and again, coming from that place of not really just a place of learning. So we had Lenore come and welcome everyone. So that was kind of our opening event. Was Lenore came and did an opening. We had Save on Food sponsor some cake with the logo, and then Josh Seymour came and spoke. So he was kind of the liaison last year between council and or between Lheidli and the tournament, like us as the tournament leads. So that was kind of the extent of it, was trying to create an opportunity for food and having Lheidli voice there. So that's what the representation and hosting looked like last year. And that's, I definitely had this in the back of my mind of, again, when I was thinking about, how you might want to center Lheidli in this tournament. Is it council coming to a game and doing a media event or a photo op? Maybe doing
I remember Josh talking about our council and city council having.
So that's. Oh yes, right. I didn't even talk
shootout or something.
Right. We did do that. Yes, I forgot about that part. We did a media event, and it was actually it was supposed to be between Lheidli and city council. We were doing a shooting competition, and that was our media event. However, yes, it was just Josh. And she participated too. And we only had a couple, we had Tourism PG there as one of the sponsors, and Mayor Simon Yu, and then a Canadian Tire representative. So that was it was small to do a shootout between each other. So what we did was we combined them both, and then we had them do a shooting competition with one of the younger teams, like a team with a lot of teenagers. And that was kind of our media event. But it was great. CKPG did attend. I can't remember. Oh, yes. And then we hired a young photographer to capture a lot of that. So a lot of the pictures you'll see the Facebook group, Lheidli Classic. You'll see the pictures on there too.
I think it would be fun. I know we were away.
Yeah.
Last.
Yes. Yeah. And that was city council as well.
Yeah.
So that's, yes, maybe if.
Jamie?
Basketball in.
Throw the ball and I'll shoot it.
So maybe if we can, I can bring that back, or if we can plan something together for sure, over the, think about it.
Somebody kick it off and everything.
Kind of an event. And the one thing I will say though is we had this, we had all this cake. We wanted to do this big media thing, but a lot of the teams didn't get there until late that night. We did it on the Friday. So I thought anything we would do, as kind of an event or like a launch or a welcome, would probably be best served like on the Saturday afternoon. Yeah. So I'll just throw that out there.
Do you mind if we share it on our social media pages?
Yes,
And
okay. I can,
site and stuff?
well, I think, yes, Towfiq, I think has the poster. Yeah,
Yeah, so, yeah, the poster.
the digital one too, I think. I can resend it. It's very,
Okay, so Plately will sponsor the shirts and t-shirts and stuff, and we'll go through the design and
I'll send those back to you.
yep, we'll have volunteers, we'll have youth.
Oh, that's so exciting.
Okay. We'll wrangle our drum group.
So what I will try to do then is I'll look for some type of food sponsor for the Saturday so that we can make the two gyms, I should note too, are Cedars and PGSS.
Okay.
And you can talk to Towfiq and Towfiq can just share it with our corporate contacts.
Okay.
When it gets big enough, let's get UNBC.
Yeah.
Yeah, right?
Actually, and we had, so another committee member, Savannah, she used to play with the women's team.
Yeah.
And she had tried to reach out to her contacts there and they were like, I spoke to one of them and he said, yes, like I would love to do that, but varsity takes priority.
Yeah.
So if we can do it this one year, then what if we can't do it the next year?
Oh, I see.
So the question, and so Savannah and I kind of said like, okay, well, what if we become big enough that they start to plan with us and start to plan around us?
Yeah, exactly.
So we could potentially look at, and he was totally open to it, their booking coordinator, to having the finals there on the Sunday.
Oh, nice.
So everyone's creative juices going, so.
Awesome. Okay, well, this is lots to start with. If you'd like me to come back kind of in the sun. Yeah. Meet in the summertime?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. So I will connect with staff and I'll plan to come back and we can just do a little bit of a touch base then.
Perfect.
That sounds great. Yeah.
Oh, that's exciting. Thank you all so much.
Thank you.
Take care. Yes, you as well. Thank you.
Yeah, we tell Jackie we say hello.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I found her on the Facebook. You have to join.
Oh, okay. Yeah, someone.
Taken out.
Well, someone has the knowledge if you get
Well, he's here.
posting bad stuff.
Oh, yeah.
He'd be so quiet.
Yeah. Totally. He sees the goal. He's getting it.
Been letting them run a little bit of that. Equal different positions.
Towfiq, do not run over. Not an extra hour this time. Yeah, just one more thing. One more thing.
One more thing at the very end.
Yeah, right.
No. This one should only take 2 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah, it won't take long. The council member last year, we were invited by the city of Valemount. There was a C2C meeting, council to council meeting there.
Yeah.
If you recall, I have a communication with you that time, I guess, that we were traveling in C2C meeting. So past council, so what they did there, they hosted 2 nights there.
Mm-hmm.
We stayed there for 2 nights and they one whole day meeting with them, going through their current and upcoming projects and they went through our
Their
projects.
mayor's awesome. I hung out with him for a while. He's a great guy. Yeah.
So this time, during that time, council member committed there that okay, next time we'll host the C2C meeting in Prince George.
Okay. Yeah.
So what we did, we looked for funding, and we got $20,000 to host them.
Oh, awesome.
$20,000 host them. So the fund is here in our bank account. $10,000 we receipt, and after we complete the C2C meeting, we send them a report. We get rest $10,000.
Perfect.
So that is the plan.
So you're looking for dates?
Yeah. So eventually, I had a discussion with their CEO today, and so she's excited. She's trying to develop a MOU. So MOU, we have the MOU regional district and city of Prince George on pager MOU.
Yeah.
Something like that. That the both government will be working together for mutual interest. One party will advocate for another party all the time. Something like that. Simple.
Yeah.
So we're developing the agenda. So we need some data. Whose date will
We're gonna have a party?
Yeah.
Your mom's cousin is on council there, eh? I thought. He's a good guy too. Yeah.
Like soon or like summer?
Yeah. It's hilarious. They're a good crew.
How are you guys with July?
It's
First 2 weeks of July are not good for me.
End of July?
The last 2 weeks of July?
That's third week, fourth week, whatever.
So
The 21st till 30th.
Does it have to be a weekend or during the week?
During the weekend.
we can do it during week because probably if they host us for 2 nights, right? We can host them for 1 night and then the next day we can have the meeting and we can wrap it up. We can host 1 night or 2 nights.
2 nights. Don't be rude.
They offer them, you gotta do 3.
Yeah. Spend that money. That's, yeah.
Okay.
They host us.
But we can do something like, we can hold the meeting in house.
Where are we hosting it?
So House of Ancestor can get some business.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you guys are thinking the end of July, the only free day at the end of July is the 30th.
For the fall?
Yeah.
So that just sets our dates, 30th.
So we can tell them that July 29 to 30th, they can come on July 29. We can host the meeting on July 30. They can visit on July 30th and 31st they can go back home.
I feel like we said we were taking them somewhere. Show them something though. Really?
Yeah. We can develop the agenda later.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. We're going to utilize fisheries?
There was a boat involved.
You guys had a plan?
Yeah.
Rent Doug's boat. A couple jet boats out there.
Or my boat.
Oh, yeah. Over here.
So we'll do the agenda at a later time?
Yeah. So that's the set of the date. If they accept the date, if they are available this date.
Yeah. Let's
Oh, yeah.
give them
Oh, yeah, for sure.
30th, yeah.
Yeah. Then we are gonna develop the agenda.
We go to I remember
Okay.
a boat tour or something.
Yeah.
We've been around since I was a kid.
Yeah, my buddy has a jet boat once in a while. I'll just get a phone call and he's like, it's a nice day. Want to go for a boat ride? I'm like, yeah.
Better friends.
Yeah. You usually just zip up the line.
Hey, we're going to stop for a 5-minute break.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
5-minute break.
Perfect.
Are you sure Towfiq's done?
He is done right now.
For now.
Talking about just one more thing.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Nasir is here because next month I'll be away. So Nasir is just familiarizing the environment, how it flows.
Yeah.
So that next month we can run it independently.
I was like,
It's gonna completely change when he's gone.
yeah. We got casual Friday every day.
We'll make you cry.
I won't let them.
Okay.
Yeah. Rezi, we are on 5-minute break.
Just for
5 or 10 minutes, we are on break. You can come.
Be fine. Try that for a bit.
No insurance on it. I can't afford insurance,
Come on, I thought we're friends. Like, put a week insurance on. No, I do. It's just my car is some seal went on it, and I have an idea what it is. I'm gonna fix it this weekend. Huh?
Okay.
My what? What van? Got no van. What? Like, you be quiet.
Yeah, I can't afford the
So
insurance.
I made a mistake, right? I sent the email. Oh, Bobu. So the forms, we took your signature. So it was like, John is away, so I'm short-handed. I had to rely. So HR gave her the forms, it is HR form. I didn't go through, so I apologize to you. I humbly apologize some more time. So what are you gonna do today? So we're gonna give you back the form you signed. And there is only 2 forms that is required by FMB. That is conflict of interest and code of conduct. So only the 2 forms. So this is very simple.
Oh yeah.
So, I just realized that, I just tell them to bring the form. I thought that the forms are okay.
Okay, yeah, that's why I asked for the wording from FMB, just to ensure that that's all they really need, right?
Yeah, only 2.
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
Shai gonna give you back the form. You can just tear off or tear off or take it back.
Okay.
The one you signed already.
Yeah.
And the fresh 2 forms are there. This is very simple.
Perfect. That sounds good.
I'm so sorry.
That's great.
I
Yeah.
apologize.
Oh, thank you.
Can't afford insurance, huh? You're shaking me down every time I come to the store. And
You know, I share 2 vehicles. This is my Dodge and my green truck.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's this. I'll just have to look at.
I'm just charging my battery and the orange one's fine, right? But I drive that in the rain and everything, but I just got to be a lot more careful because it's when you really pin it, both wheels go into your ass and kick is really easy. So
These are the new forms. And I put in the previous forms for you if you want to take them back or you want to trash them here.
oh yeah, you can just these are done, right? We don't need these.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Hey. See, it's good to see you. You know how many people I see that are my age that have the biggest print in the world in their phone? They just like Crystal probably does that. Yeah, like it has like 3 words across the line because the words are like this big. Yeah.
I tried to do that, but it took too long to read.
I
Oh, yeah, all right.
What am I doing?
Signing the new forms. Previous I'm giving you back. Just the 2 forms.
What's the word is?
Yeah, right. Well, whenever back in the day, like Lynn Hall would go out to the street and see his papers, and he's doing that garbage, huge bullet point, like the words like this, like it's so big. I was like, oh, yeah, I was like, how? It's okay if you see. Like,
Certificate was for you from the MLA. So given by the MLA for you. Yes.
Still got some.
So I need to signature on these 2 forms.
Where's the check?
Check is coming via post.
It's in the mail.
Can take those forms back.
Okay.
Give it to you.
The 15th.
It's garbage. Yes. Even this check.
Oh, I see.
24.
Just pertains to that SNB.
yeah.
Oh,
It's got some.
Inside?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're just finishing the whole packages.
Separate.
who's Korean?
If it.
Yep. Goes to you.
Oh, wow.
Like it needs to be in your writing Greyhound student or thing.
Do it. We know who we are.
We'll disclose if we have any.
Changed my middle name to Jack.
Oh, I guess you won't need to.
Jack Frederick.
Jack Frederick.
Jake. Jake is better. Not Jack.
Jake.
Jake. You have new burgers coming out. It's called No More Jake Burgers. Very good. This is from who? Get a picture of the, top 250 horse charged. Oh, yeah. It's a pretty like,
That's a harbor craft or whatever.
he's kind of chasing. After the update from the YouTube, we went to one of the sitting on the speaker's throne.
It works great in the lakes, and that's why I don't take on it for the whole lot of meters, because
Oh, that's awesome.
it's not the best.
It is, and
It works great, but
it even they did that on.
the water.
No.
Oh, I don't think so.
It's pretty good, it's just.
Yeah.
So I thought maybe I didn't look at it.
Bought an island.
I said,
What name?
Yeah. She's
I should've
got
said,
a
what's it made of?
I can't remember.
but I'm like, is the collar there? Where is it just stainless steel? And they're like, oh, like, oh, yeah, it is. I'm like, okay.
A lot of Americans.
Just where no one does water.
Foreigners that are both.
So I
There's
I did come cave. Well, it's good right now, so I don't need it. And, so,
nothing like conversation.
yeah, so I'm gonna talk to, there's a guy in town, a couple guys give me his name, I forget, I got it written down. 2 or 3 years, then you go talk to him and get custom one.
You're gonna run for me.
But most of them gonna buy a second boat in a couple of years here and just try to get some projects done and. Huh?
Yeah.
Well,
I got third one.
What you're gonna do?
I might,
Taking the signature,
get
each council member,
I want to get one done with all the
crystal,
LS.
crystal sign, sent to Brunswick crystal.
Yeah, sure.
Consultant.
I think that's the way to go. I got in my CUDA.
So we can send the
Oh,
passport.
no, it's a 500 stroker.
Oh, this is a new one?
Yeah.
Okay.
Eight or like,
Got this one?
Yeah.
Okay.
Engines are used, I think, smell the engine cost that.
Smell it, yeah.
Looking at 20 to 30,000 for a good engine these days, right?
It's funny. I had to quit for a month and then I released, like, because my cousin got loose with me. He still smoked. And every time he would come in, I'd be like, insane.
14 years now, Justina. 14 years since I quit.
That's good for you.
Almost 14. Yeah.
Just over a year.
Really? Yeah, good for you. Yeah, you used to smoke.
But it wasn't.
I still
Really wasn't.
want to smoke. And it's been
Oh.
7 years. I'm always like, oh, I just.
I know. I hold a pen. I hold a pen, and it just comes natural to like, you know what I mean? It really is exactly. It's
It smells good outside, but when they come in, it's nasty.
Yeah.
I apologize to my wife.
I could visit my pen.
Just over a year?
Your smell comes back, right? And then like when I visit my parents, yeah, when I visit my parents still, I leave and I'm like, you know what I mean? It's 60. It's weird. Yeah. You just don't notice when you're smoking.
I can always tell when my husband and I, when we go on a road trip, and it's next couple of days, I'm really eggy.
You can think it's a
Smoking weird. I'm like, I'm withdrawing.
Yeah, totally. You're fine.
I quit for just over a month, and then the night of elections, I was like, I'm done. I'm gonna have a smoke.
And all it took was that one.
Yeah, it's very stressful.
The party is not here yet, CO2 law. Meanwhile, can we move forward my next one?
Is this the same one that we've been,
CO2 lock,
is this the same company as
same company. We don't like them, right?
We're not on camera, are we?
We are
Are we on camera? Are we public? Resi?
It's easy. It's easy kitchen.
Resi, are we live?
In the kitchen.
Okay.
I don't know, that's probably not, because.
I told her that we are not.
Yeah, but when we got out to grab dinner, we were still live, and Mom heard play swear.
Apparently I swore.
Early.
I don't.
Said something about a truck.
Oh, yeah.
But we'll get some soap for your mouth now. We'll get that one.
My one truck's down. My car has an oil leak right now, and then I went to hop in my other truck, and the battery's dead. So
Is that still the little black car that you had when we were at the band office?
Oh yeah, Jim still has that.
That's Gbenga.
But yeah, anyways, I was like, I went to hop in the truck, and it wouldn't start. I was like, so that's why I was like, effing truck. I was talking to Doug.
Like, turn off the volume. Like, it's one swear word.
Yeah, it's not directed at anything but my truck, so it's not that bad.
Hi, are we're still not on? Okay, so we're not live right now? We're okay, just hold off for a few minutes, please.
Go, you're swearing off.
Mineral capture that the CO2 was doing. It was a certain mineral that they captured in the ground is what they were proposing.
Yeah.
And FYI, yeah.
Okay, we're back from break and we'll go to Towfiq. Oh, they're here now? Okay, so we're going to Gbenga. CO2, block carbon dioxide storage.
I think sure we can ask him for a meeting here tomorrow for that meeting. What's going on?
I said, like, get that breeze. Need to do something about this room.
The sun was here.
I know, but it's just nice, even if you can crack a window somewhere or something, just to capture some wind. It's stuffy in here. Doug, you're too warm. I can feel your. Oh, yeah.
The bright lights down the end.
Yeah, you plug that one. Okay. Anything computer?
It was on again. Turns it off. It was set to 2 before.
I mean, you're old as you're getting older. I've seen you. Oh, yes.
Okay, we'll start with a quick roundtable. Gbenga will go from around.
Hello, Miranda Seymour, Council.
Nazir Ahmed, Finance Manager. Shahid Nasir, Executive Assistant.
Islam, Executive Director. Nice to see you again.
Crystal Gibbs, Council.
Keep telling Logan.
Donald President Council.
Tashina Seymour, Council.
Clay Bognay Council.
Doug Wilson, Council. Jamie Bird, Council.
I'm David Molesky with CO2 Lock. I'm Scott Larson with CO2 Lock as well.
Or do we have Councillor Kyle McIntosh?
Hi, Kyle. Nice to meet you guys, Council.
Okay, you have 20 minutes and you have the tape.
All right, thank you very much. So yeah, nice to see some of you again, and nice to meet the rest of you. Thank you for the opportunity to come back. I know we've talked a few times with some of you. We've sent information. We have a few slides we wanted to walk through. I know there's some new council members that don't know what we're doing. This might be the first time. We wanted to give a brief kind of update or just a brief introduction to what we're doing, and then look to answer any questions and kind of go from there. So thank you very much. My name is Scott Larson. I'm the CEO, and we'll kind of get right into it here. So we are a climate tech company. We're based in Vancouver, and we focus on what's called carbon dioxide storage. Kind of walk through this in a little bit here, but when you think of climate tech companies or kind of clean tech companies, we are a startup based in Vancouver focusing on carbon dioxide storage, and we'll kind of walk through that in a little bit here. Company started about 4 years ago, based on 8 or 9 years of R&D science, most of it coming out of University of BC, but internationally as well. And we have a set of technologies, capabilities, process, patent pending kind of stuff, where we take carbon dioxide and mix it with water like a club soda and inject it down into a mineral called brucite, the type of stone. And when this carbonated water hits the brucite, there's a chemical reaction. And the reaction is that the CO2 effectively changes from a gas to a stone. And so the CO2 begins to crystallize, it begins to mineralize, and it effectively gets stored underground forever. And so our first location, which we will talk through here in a little bit, is based by Bobtail Lake. We have some maps there. And it has the ability to store about 1 million tons of CO2 per year, 1 million tons of carbon dioxide per year for 25 years. And it'll be stored down there forever. And a big issue in climate tech, greenhouse gases, climate change, all the rest of it is, what do you do with the CO2? So for the last, kind of the thesis of the company is that for the last 15 years, there's been hundreds of millions of dollars, all kinds of research gone into carbon capture, either at factories or smokestacks or refineries, most from in oil and gas, to make sure that the CO2 doesn't go into the atmosphere. They've also come out with technologies which are the size of this room or 10 times bigger that can suck CO2 out of the atmosphere. It's got big fans, cycles it through a bunch of, turbines and filters and screens and membranes. And in that process, the CO2 is removed from the air, and then they pump clean air, effectively, or air that has the CO2 removed, back in the atmosphere. So all kinds of money has gone into that, but very little has gone into what do you do with the CO2? When you get it, how do you use it? They use it for Coca-Cola, they use it for beer, they use it for all kinds of other stuff, but there's too much of it. And so the thesis of the company is that there's time for innovation in what do you do with the CO2? How do you get rid of it? How do you store it? So that's what we focus on.
Where's the CO2 coming from that's coming in?
Yeah, I'm going to get into that. I'll get into that in a minute. So what we're doing, in essence, is putting together a BC-based climate solution that the technology has the ability to have a significant impact on greenhouse gases. It has the ability to generate about $150 million annual of revenue. I'll kind of walk through our business model as well and what we do. The project has the ability to also use a significant amount of Indigenous labor. It's economic, certainly, has the ability to be economic. And so this is kind of the opportunity for all of us, I guess, that we're talking about. So here is where the site is. Bruce site, when the company started, identified about 300 locations around the world that have the right geology. And in North America, it kind of hugs the coast. It's in BC, Washington, Oregon, California. In East Coast, Maritimes, all the way down to Florida. It's through Central Asia, Central Europe, all of the Southeast Asia, Malaysia, Philippines. This is the first location that we have, which is by Bobtail Lake. It's about 50 square kilometers. It's in size. It's 50 kilometers southwest of here, and it's in your traditional territories. So that's where it is, and we can kind of walk through that. You can see the map there. Prince George, to your question, produces about 6 million tons of CO2 per year. The mills, the factories, industry here, Prince George, and I guess Quesnel as well, produce about 6 million tons. So the CO2 will come from the local factories. So it gets captured at the factories with equipment that captures it in the smokestacks. Gets transported to the site. This is the idea. It gets transported to the site. We drill down about 400 to 500 meters. So you drill a hole 400 or 500 meters down. You take the CO2, you mix it with water. Kind of a fairly simple process, but it is a process. You put it down. And if we were to do this in the lab, the reaction time is within days. You can see it happen almost within your eyes. Like, it's a very fast reaction time. Underground, 9 months, it's fully crystallized. A ton of CO2. Jump in.
I just want to add that we're going to be recycling the water. So the water that goes into the ground is going to be taken back out and reused. And it will be recycled and used over and over and over again for this process. So we're not going to be drawing fresh water continuously. There's just a volume of water we need to get going. And then it just operates in a cycle over time.
Where does that water come from?
There could be a number of sources it could come from. Of course, we'd be required to get a permit wherever we would want to use water. The lake is one source. We can buy water from town. There's a bunch of different sources. I want to add something that we always want to make sure we're communicating with people that we're talking about this technology with. We're a climate technology company. We want to operate a project with the highest environmental standards. It doesn't make sense for us to do something good for the climate, but bad for the environment where we're doing our projects. So, taking that very high environmental standard approach is something that's foundational core in how we want to develop a project. Sorry,
If I may ask, for every injected CO2 pattern, how much of water do you?
Yeah, we don't know yet, actually. We don't have the exact answer to that. We do know, to David's point, we think we can recycle 100% of the water. In fact, probably more because there's groundwater down there, but 99.99% of the water would be recycled back out.
Is this going to affect any of the groundwater down there for people with wells and that?
No, it's so the water down there, this is kind of 400 meters down to 1,000, which isn't super deep, but is below any surface water, any sub water. There is existing water down there, which is pH 9-ish. It's bleach. So down where we are is deep. There is nothing potable down there. In fact, the water would be toxic to any of the plants, anything like that.
Because I do have neighbors out where we got wells that deep. And no, I know that way, but out towards east of town, right?
Yeah, so I mean, the company, and kind of walk through the history a little bit, but we
Or are you talking meters, not feet? Sorry, never mind.
yeah, these are meters. Yeah, this is,
Okay.
yeah, this is below anything that you're. It's 100%.
We're talking meters.
It's toxic.
I mean, sorry. How do you intend to control the pH level of the whole process?
The pH level
of the water, the mineralization process, considering the fact that, according to what you said now, the water itself
already down there.
Yeah,
it's around pH 9.
9 to 11. So it's very alkaline. The water that has CO2 dissolved in it is slightly acidic. And one of the things that we'll be doing is when we drill our well where we inject, we'll have monitoring wells around it. And we'll be able to see the pH of that very, very deep water start dropping a little bit. And that means that the reaction is taking place and the CO2 is getting turned into stone. And then we'll be drawing that water back out, and when we put, it'll be a higher pH. And then when we put the CO2 into it, it'll drop the pH on it again. So monitoring what's happening with pH is a very important way of understanding what's happening subsurface. And
it kind of brings me back to groundwater. So if you will be drilling monitoring site around, so it means one way or the other, there's going to be groundwater for us.
Yeah, when you drill a well in British Columbia, you're required to protect groundwater resources, and these are water that is shallow. That's in your drinking zone where you would be drilling wells 400 feet deep. You're required to put a steel liner and cement it in place for the depth that goes through where there is groundwater that's connected to the surface and potable. You cannot do any activities that is going to endanger groundwater that is potable and could be used for agriculture, could be used for human consumption. That has to be protected. To be able to get a permit to drill a well, you have to show what your plan is to protect those potable groundwater sources. So that's an important way of doing a project the right way.
Just wondering too. So you guys do actually, then you have an accident 10 years down the road or something. What's the worst possible situation that could happen if you have an accident?
The leakage.
No, because it's stone. It doesn't leak out. So there's different ways to store CO2 right now. Plant much.
Well, say they find delivery and it's CO2, not when it's down there. Like, what's the worst possible outcome?
Crash, a truck crash.
Yeah, well, like, is it like with all the CO2? Is it going to?
It will not. So in a container, a tanker of CO2 is about 20 kilograms. You think of those. I mean, you see them driving down the road already right now. You see these cracks there, these limb there, these natural, but it has about 20 kilograms.
20 tons.
Sorry, 20 tons. If one of those things tips over, goes in the atmosphere, it's going in the atmosphere already, it wouldn't make any difference at all. That is the worst case situation. When it's underground, it is stone. It's not leaking out ever. The way they do it in Alberta, they're drilling down 3 to 4 kilometers. There's a big kind of bubble of oil and gas underground. They suck it out, they refine it, they do whatever they do. In that process, they create CO2. In that process, just kind of running smokestacks, CO2 is created. They capture it at the factory, and then they pump it down into that empty well. It's down 3 or 4 kilometers. It's deep. They put a lid on it, and they hope it stays. And usually it does. Sometimes they lose it. Sometimes it leaks because it's down there as a gas. So it's quick. It's cheap. It's potentially better than it going into the atmosphere. But it does leak out. It does leak out. And what they do in the prairies, Alberta, Saskatchewan, Texas, Middle East, parts of Asia. This is how CO2 is typically stored. This way, there's probably 5 companies in the world that are doing it like this. It is the best way because it is down there as a stone. It doesn't leak out. It doesn't come away. It's down there for 1 million years.
Where does your finance model come from, and where does this payment come from? Because you're talking about pulp mills and things, and everybody's already really stressed, right?
So our business model is a ton of CO2 is a carbon credit. So we give carbon credits. That is 1 ton of CO2. Carbon credits have value. They're worth something. Right now, the carbon credit market around the world is probably $1 billion a year. Some people say it's a lot higher. I tend to think it's about $1 billion. It's growing at about 40% a year. So within 5 or 6 years, it'll be 5 billion. Within 10, it'll be 15 billion. And this is companies who buy carbon credits because they want to get to net zero. They want to reduce their carbon footprint. So you fly near Canada, it's a $500 ticket. It says, do you want to donate another $30 to be net zero? You go no. But if you said yes, they would buy a credit from a company like us. So a carbon credit is a ton of CO2. These credits right now are being sold to Amazon, Google, Shopify, Shell, Mitsubishi, large energy companies, and they're paying about $350 US per credit. A ton. So a credit is a ton. So they're paying about $350 per ton. That market's going to come down. So if we're putting down 1 million tons, you times 1 million by a number, and that's the revenue potential. So in our modeling, we're saying $150 Canadian is the floor of where these things are going to settle. So 1 million times $150, you have $150 million of revenue potential annual. Now to your question is, where do you get the CO2? Because they're all struggling. There's tax credits. So Canada probably has the best tax credit system in the world. There's tax credits, there's carbon credits, there's companies. I came back from Asia Tuesday, in fact, Singapore, that are they'll do storage as a service. So they also come to us and say, listen, we will pay you to put it down because we're emitting stuff in Singapore, Japan, Asia. You know, they're factories, Mitsubishi and Mitsui, Honda, whatever else. They don't have anywhere for their CO2 to go because it's small countries. We will pay you to put it down in Canada. It goes down in Canada, and it's an offset. So this is kind of the business model. So tax credits, carbon credits,
CO2 from there to here.
No, you get it from energy companies locally, mills here that will have to set up that are in the process of setting up the capture technology, but then they have to do something with it. And there's no place else in BC for it to go other than kind of mineralization. a little bit in the, Peace River area, they have kind of different geology. They can do different things. But outside of the Northeast, it's an issue. It's an issue.
I don't know if this is a silly question, but is anything of this affected with the change that Carney made with the carbon tax?
Yeah, so there's the consumer carbon tax, and then there's the industrial. This is the industrial. So he thought he'd come out and he said he's going to keep it. Alberta's keeping it. To answer the question, nothing. But it is the right question, and there's kind of an awkward conversation because industrial consumer, but this is 100% outside of that.
So, from how many First Nation you are looking for this support?
Yeah, go ahead. I didn't hear questions. How many different nations are in the mix?
Except for the United States, almost all.
First Nations.
First Nations. Oh, sorry. So the nations with traditional territory on this location are yourselves, CICUS, and NASCO. And that's who we have been told by the province have traditional territory.
Okay, but in the letter you mentioned that you want to offer 50% equity to Lheidli. So how much equity to CICUS?
This is Indigenous owners.
So I think this is all part of the conversation. So we are at that stage right now, trying to navigate our way through this. We want to have Indigenous participation in this. Of course, I think we had an initial conversation in January with some of you folks, and this conversation started right then. So that was the first time we began to talk about just a couple of months ago, to be honest. And so this is all part of the conversation right now, which is what does it look like? What nations would like to be in the mix? How does the equity model unfold? We have to figure it out, and it's got to be mutual.
Who's funding it?
Pardon me?
Who's funding it?
Yeah, so we are a startup. Company started 3.5 years ago, kind of spun out of a mining company called FPX Nickel. They now own about 25%, so they are a smallish shareholder. We have raised a few $1 million to fund operations up until now from other kind of family offices and angel investors. We are in the middle of doing a financing. It's kind of my job. So we are looking to raise a round of venture capital from investors right now. And yeah, we have to raise financing. This is kind of part of what startups do, and this is a little of my background. Startups do is to raise financing, navigate a way through that. And, you raise money, you put together the financial model, you build the business, you bring in the other partners who are involved, and these things all have to happen at the same time. But we would need to be externally financed.
You mentioned that it was annually we probably get $150 million. Like if you had a certain amount of CO2 down there. So my question is, why are we doing this? Like, why invest in something that you can't see? What kind of guarantees do we have that in a few years we're going to see something? Or does it explode down there and leak out, and then at the end of the day you have zero? I mean, those are risks that we're taking in terms of, being in a partnership which could cost us too, like, even though, you're saying, okay, well, you're in it for a certain percentage of the take, just so you can get the permission to do what you're doing,
I think it's a totally fair question. The risks from an environmental standpoint are, it's nothing zero, but are very, very normal. It is down to this stone, so it's not going to leak out. It's not a gas. It's not bad for the environment. It is good for the environment. I think from a economic standpoint, from a financing standpoint, from a from a what is the return standpoint, our cost to put it down a ton of CO2, drilling, operating costs, and everything else is about $12 per ton. So the revenue potential, and again, we're starting. We're kind of navigating our way through this. There's 5 or 6 other companies in the world that do the same thing in other parts of the world. So we're not the first ones. The revenue potential is $150, and the cost to put it down is $12 to $15. Now there's other costs in the mix, transportation, CapEx, all that kind of stuff. We get it. But I don't think anybody would be expecting investment to come from you folks until we get a little further along, until some of that has been de-risked. We have just signed, we haven't announced it yet, but we have just signed a letter of intent with a company that buys these types of credits. They buy them from people like us, and then they sell them to Amazon, Google, Chevron, Shopify, other tech companies. And they have in the LOI, in the agreement that we've just signed, have said that they'll take up to 30% of them. They wanted all of them, and we said 30. So that's part of the revenue indication that's coming in. So we have the project, which is, kind of at the beginning of it. We're working our way through that. We're signing letters of intent with companies that will give us the CO2. That's kind of that part of the value chain. And then on the other side is we're starting to sign agreements with companies who will say, we will buy them from you. And so 30% would be $50 million per year when we get to that point. So it's coming. It's starting to come together. There's more work to be done there. But that risk is being lowered as we work our way through here.
We've done one more and then their turns up.
To get to that $12 per ton, how many tons did you guys estimate to get the numbers to $12 a ton? Because I know it costs a lot to drill.
Yeah. So costs come down a little bit, as we scale.
Yeah, that's why I think of scale. That's why I was wondering.
It does. So when we get to some level of scale, we think a little bit lower, but
what's the level of scale to get to the $12 a ton? Like how many tons are you pushing through that?
25 to 30,000 per year. So we think we can get it to $1 million per year. So if we get to 4 or 5% of our capacity, we're getting close to the $1
So at 4 to 5% of capacity, you figure it's only cost $12 a ton?
Yeah.
So the equipment is diamond drilling equipment. So you're familiar with the mining sector. We're using technology that is already all off the shelf. We're not having to go and reinvent the wheel.
But it's still expensive though.
Yeah, a lot of companies here do diamond drilling. They know how to use it. Forestry industry, technology. So we're not going to be looking at bringing in equipment that is like these massive drill rigs in Northeast BC. This is all equipment that is already being used locally.
It's almost like okay, time to
We have acquired the mineral rights, and we're in the process of getting a license from the province to be able to do a final.
Okay, thank you guys for coming in.
Yeah, thanks guys. Yeah, so we're sending information and updates and as often as we can, of course, and so
Yeah.
we'll continue to do that.
Okay.
And if there's more follow-up questions, of course.
For sure.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for coming in.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, thanks.
Guys.
Thank you.
Thank you. You're really quick.
Looks like almost,
Yours really quick as last stuff was.
looks like the rest of the time is mine.
We're behind, keep it that. No. Actually, we're like right on time.
Having meetings and then you think, then everybody wants to go home, so it's like
Yeah.
Go.
Nice. I'll do it first. So council member, according to the governance policy, we need to have two membership general meeting in a year. So the one is full formal AGM. So we need to set up a date as soon as possible because it is due.
AGM.
AGM.
Yeah.
Not have it on my birthday this year.
Your birthday is at
Well, no, actually, we can't because it's the same weekend as that basketball tournament. So we can't have it the same.
Only reason to should have joined council.
July. We can have it in August.
Oh no, the last one was in November.
Yeah.
Oh, that was MGM.
Oh,
That was different.
And that was MGM.
General meetings.
Membership general meeting.
AGM we usually have in August, don't we?
Yeah.
Yes.
I just need a date and I just need like what venue you want to do it. So that at least so that time everything is rushed, we can start booking.
I'm away from the 5th.
I would say the Civic Center again.
But everyone's asking if it be outside again.
Oh, really?
It's too hot that time.
It was too hot, but it's the members that are asking for it to be outside.
But it's hit or miss. You just never know. It might be a terrible rainy freaking weekend, or it could be sunny. It was really nice.
Could we do the meeting at the Civic Center and then have one of the an outdoor event out on the north side where it's just a fun thing for the members? So we're not sitting outside in the transportation. Yeah.
We have it outside, we're talking hiring somebody, coordinate it all.
Okay.
If we do it on the 23rd, the 21st and 22nd are already booked for our meeting, so if we want to go away on vacations and that, then we're already going to be here the 21st and 22nd.
You're so smart.
Oh no, I just like to get away.
August and ready for school.
No, I was gonna say we could do north side, or we could even take our park. Use the park too.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Yeah, because that's in kind of save on travel and distance and everything else. It's close to downtown. But it's our park.
Did you say take our park back?
Okay, so we'll just pick a date now, and then we'll start going through logistics, start talking.
Yeah,
about
for sure.
We're gonna hire somebody too, so all staff, all the band members. Everyone okay with the 23rd and 24th?
Sure, let's do it.
August
Yeah.
23rd and 24th.
Really?
So we bring the membership home, right?
Yes, we bring everybody home.
So you have to book all hotel and rangers.
Yeah, much. Yeah.
I think we had 3 blocks
Can I book a room now? I gotta go.
But yeah, definitely we do one, we can talk about, have one day out there for 2 rivers. So fun. Okay. Next topic.
So venue we are not decided yet, right?
Huh?
Venue
Undecided.
to be announced.
undecided, like.
To be announced.
Oh, okay. So Civic Center already followed up. If you guys want to do in Civic Center, you need to know right away. So we got a few follow-ups from them already because they're booked.
Well, we could do the Civic Center one day, and then one day out. We'll just have to get fussy.
When we get our hall.
Our hall is not big enough for everybody to, when we bring everybody home,
Yeah.
it's just
It's small.
Okay.
The one that's gonna be good.
So should we do book the
Oh,
Civic
yeah,
Center
that,
for?
that, even if it gets approved, that won't be for another 4 or 5 years until that building is.
One day of business?
Every other one we can use it for though.
Yep.
Civic Center for 23rd. So 23rd will be the business, right?
Yeah.
23rd business and 24th Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
So business. So business only book Civic Center.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Type
So now we are doing the Civic Center on the 23rd?
23rd for business, and then we'll have a fun day or something, bingo night at
North side?
the hall. Yeah, north side.
24th on north side.
We could do if we order the tents and set up like the big tent space in the health center parking lot. If we use up that whole parking lot for the tents again, like we did that one EGM, we could set it up and we could do a bingo in that space. And we
yeah.
Oh no, I was just wondering with the size of everybody. Civic Center was great again, but what about the CN Center? I'm just having a observation here and a thought, but whatever works best.
Oh my God, yeah.
Because
CN Center we only had like 100, or Civic Center had like 400 members. Now we have just about 1,000 members, plus their spouses, plus their kids.
also it's the food thing, right? Like I don't think they have a full kitchen at the CN Center. I think it's like hot dogs and beer. I think that's kind of what they do.
No, they don't.
Yeah, they don't.
But at the CN Center, I don't think they have the same licensing. I think you're able to cater in.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so it's the Civic Center, you can't do your own catering, just like at our hall, you can't do your own catering because they have inside catering, but the CN Center, you can cater in.
Thank you, Deshina. That was I was alluding to that anyhow. Thank you.
Yep, no problem.
I'll get a hold of Phyllis. Just let you know about everything.
Oh yeah, okay.
Porta potty.
Phyllis and Tamara. They were, well, and me. I've sat at all of those. The other thing is LA promotions. I can help with that one. If we do it on the north side, the fun day, having the blow up things is usually fun. And there's a lot of like liability stuff that we have to talk about for that. So last time we had a kid break his wrist.
Okay, we had 23rd. Okay, that's all done. We'll have another meeting, a few more meetings on.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's information I need for now.
And you're going to hire an event coordinator for that?
Thank you. So the next one is like some of our membership, not some, I would say specifically, 4 of our membership, they reached out to me and they requested me that if they can get all events information through email. Like we are posting in Facebook, we do door posting, but not everybody has access to Facebook and not everybody visit frequently to band office. So they're requesting to send by email.
Yeah.
So the confusing part is like, previously we tried to send a test email. Some of council members reached out and told that don't harass us. That means like don't send email stuff. We don't want to see our email load from email from Brent.
Well, what if you just had like people sign up for that email list? So if they want to sign up and do that, then that's fine.
So so I had the same request when we first started the calendar and the posters for the family development newsletter. We did have a list of members that requested it through email. And what we would do is we had like, you know how you can set up the emails where it's like all staff or all council? We had it set up so that we would add the emails to that and then it BCCs everybody. So you can't see everybody's email that's receiving one.
I see.
And whether or not it's going to be Tammy who is doing the emails.
No, I will not go to it. It will be IT. So it will be 2 LTFN membership from LTFN IT. So all email will be packed. Nobody can see any others. No one can see another email. So I mean, like the thing is like somebody get bothered. Like, hey, why I'm getting this email? I didn't ask for it.
Well,
I wouldn't send it to everybody we have an email for. I would make it a sign up.
Yeah, it should be a sign up. That's exactly it. Put that out. Then it's got to be a sign up.
Can it have like an unsubscribe function?
Yes, you can do that.
And like I said, you'd have to like opt in anyways, if that's how you want to get your information, because communication is always important, for sure.
Domo?
I think that's a good idea. Then we still have to think about those that don't have email,
Yeah, we
don't
sure do.
have Facebook.
Well, yeah, and
I run into that even in Fisheries Day, and I said, well, we advertise it on Facebook. Everybody should have seen it, and well, not everybody sees it, because we don't go on Facebook or something like that. But I would suggest this is a suggestion that do a massive mail out to all of you in terms of just telling them this is what happened in the event and when we're gonna have it, and a letter out to them just so that they know.
Well, pretty
cool.
I think
It's been done before, now we're in the technology area and we're in the 25th century, and not all our people are in the 21st century.
well, if you can like kind of put that out and let people know, but if we're bringing everybody back for the AGA, have a list of like, how do you want to be notified? Do you want newsletters? Do you want Instagram? Do you want Facebook? Do you want email?
Yeah.
When
people are signing in at registration.
Yeah.
But then they want to check with it.
But just going off of more of what you said, Domo, there are a lot of us who have done a lot of work to try and make sure that we've done everything that we can to make sure that our calendars and newsletters are like convenient for members to see. We post them at every single office. We have packages for like if people want to come to the office and grab them. We deliver to every house on reserve every month. We post it on all of the social media pages. We have a list of people who, if they want it emailed, we email it to them. We email it to all staff to make sure that all managers and staff members are able to share those things with their clients.
Yeah.
So like we have done a lot of things, but like something like the monthly calendar, we can't afford to send it to 900 people every month, right?
So not every only month. So every week I get at least like 3 events information that we posted in Facebook. At least three. So I get on in Monday, I get on in Wednesday, I got on it on Friday. So as soon as we get it, we review it, post it in website and Facebook. So, mail out is very good because it is guaranteed that the membership can see it, read it.
Unless they move.
Yeah. But it is going to be expensive. I mean, in what sense, like every week, if we have keep on sending the mail to membership for all events, once in a week even, but it's going to be expensive.
And an envelope like our cost of.
Oh, yeah.
The big thing with being on council and being chief and being representative of the community is communication with your community. And it doesn't matter what the cost should be. That communication should be right up front, and you should be communicating with them, regardless of the cost.
I would say for certain events, it's definitely very important. Like the AGM, definitely a mail out for the AGM. But like, if it's for the Family Development and Health newsletter, like, there's no way we could do that mail out. There's like no way. But we do make sure that everything. Yeah, we do make sure that like the app is updated, the website's updated. Like we do try.
Well, even apps are changing. Like people are Instagram and other things now too. Like it's beyond me. They keep changing.
Even call outs, a lot of people's phone numbers are disconnected. Like they change their numbers faster than, I don't know. It's hard. And then a lot of people don't want call outs too. Like Towfiq said, they want to be left alone.
Yeah. Communication's always been a tough one.
Oh yeah.
Numbers are changed right away.
Yeah.
Give me one. I got a new number. I'll give it to you. Okay. And you call it the next day. Oh, this number is not in service no more.
Doesn't matter now on the cell phone. Then you start getting freaking all this other like text from the last number.
How come you didn't call me?
We also always have conversations with families where we know they have like elderly, like they're caregiving for like elders and stuff. Like, can you go over the calendar with them and stuff? Like, would so and so want to come to this event? Like, we can arrange transportation. Like, it's offered.
So that's a definite yes for emails to events. And anyone watching, please spread the word. If you want to email, get a hold of Towfiq.
Yeah.
To get you on the email list.
And I think yearly we should be doing that at the AGAs, is just reaffirming, like, how do you want to be contacted? Like, it's because it changes all the time.
And updating.
Yeah.
Elders really enjoy the quarterly.
Here's a good idea for making announcements at events, off events to come also.
Yeah, totally.
That would be good too.
Yeah.
Thank you, Council members. Okay, so number C, June council meeting. I already discussed about Nasu that I'll be aware.
Yeah.
Will be there. So I can go to the next one. It's for 7:35 one. I am ahead of my schedule
You gotta,
for the Untitled project.
should I do a couple things?
Yes, Clay's turn now.
Yeah.
Really slow.
Three quick pieces to bring up. Just three. I'd like to talk about how we get our packages. We should get them earlier so we can, so we can actually like discuss these things. Like previous, it's always nice because sometimes things are just getting circulated and we're getting no background, and it's nice to actually chat and like, put it in your head and think about, 3 days prior even, just so we can take a look at it and be prepared.
So normally what we do, and we're gonna practice from the next council meeting. So council agenda we circulated a week ahead, and at the same time, 1 week ahead you'll get your package, this package.
Yeah.
So since we have few council meeting together, so I got chance to review the council meeting minutes today.
Yeah.
So the last one, it is 90 pages, 80 page. It was 92 pages in me.
Yeah.
So I had to go through this page line and I to see that cut it to 72 pages. So it really took me my whole morning. So from next council meeting, you can expect that 1 week ahead we post the agenda, and same day you're gonna get all council meeting materials, including meeting minutes, everything in your email.
Okay.
We're gonna make sure that
We utilize our laptops.
Perfect. Second thing, as like new council and everything, contractors and consultants, we should like have a breakdown and maybe have them report, or like how are they doing, or like, because the piece that just went around for the lawyers is just like, here's the lawyer we've been using, but it's like law firms and everything are changing. Same with consultants. So are they meeting the needs, and are we getting value out of them? So like they should be talking to us and saying like, hey, this is what we can.
Consultants update meeting.
Well, yeah, an update meeting, but also how are they doing? And maybe we can, every 6 months, we do like a how are they doing, and maybe have other people come in and say like, what can you do for us? Because there's so many, like, keep it competitive for our nation, because there's like, we can get better value maybe from somewhere else. And also every 6 months we should be doing like, how are they doing for us? Because consultants are expensive, lawyers are expensive, everybody's super costly. So we should be actually just like keeping tabs on this, instead of just going, oh, we've used these guys forever. And it's like, it doesn't matter. We've used people forever and they're charging $900 an hour, and we might not be getting value from someone who's charging $500 an hour. There's a lot of different consultants out there. They're pushing the ways of First Nations. So just something to bring up there, just something to think about. Like maybe every 6 months we take like are we getting the value, because we're spending a lot of money on them, and it's good to know. So maybe another little process there. So
Also make them compete with each other
to give us a better deal.
Be like, hey, if you're going to kick our ass out because this guy's coming in cheaper and going to do better work, we can definitely get better value.
Because at the end of the day, it's own source revenue, people's money. We got to like monitor that properly. So just a thought. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you, Chief. Chief and Jay.
Yeah.
So our procurement policy says that every year we evaluate our consultant and contractors.
Mm-hmm.
But definitely, it was approved by council, and if council wants it to do it 6 months, yes, definitely we can do that.
Well,
and from administration, we definitely in the support of that. The reason is like we want to keep our contractor consultant in tight.
Well, yeah, but yeah, we'd like to see what they're up to and everything else as well, like what their costs are and all those pieces. So just like we have a lot of new council too. And okay, we got that. And a quick third thing, the Hudson's Bay Company yesterday are filing for bankruptcy. They're 355 years old. They have a lot of journals and documents from all nations where they've been. So
somebody just told me who was bidding on all that stuff.
yeah, so they have a lot of our knowledge and history, and we should send something out to the courts and the feds and say, listen, like, if they have anything of ours, they should not be allowed to put that up for auction. The Hudson Bay Company probably has more history about Lheidli than we have. So it'd be really good to really look into this and start fighting it, because essentially they're trying to put it up to the highest bidder. And it could be like, it could be our lost Batlat systems. It could be like, they have journals. It could be the shady stuff that was going down when they screwed us right over. So I think all the nations around should be putting something together and fighting this. And I think
we do that fast.
and we'd have to do this quick, because they're already starting to piece off.
So
Yeah.
hire a certain person or a team to like go after stuff like that and protect our borders where these other bands are encroaching.
Well, and a lot of those journals would probably be helpful, like things like that.
How to get a team to start doing this kind of stuff.
Well, yeah, historians, ethnographers, maybe work with the museum. Just start learning more of our history so we can really back up what we're saying our borders are. So yeah, those were the quick three things.
So, but to create that letter, we would do that through our lawyer, would we not?
The lawyer would have to draft all that up.
So contact the lawyer and have them draft up.
Yeah, I'm going to
And if you have contacts of other chief and councils around, like all the Dakat nations, we should be putting it out to all of them, because they impacted every one of us out here. So the word should go far.
anyone that has a fort.
Well, even they built a fishery on Cunningham Lake outside Yakuche for like 150 years. That's why they used the portage.
Yeah, the fort would have all the documents, wouldn't it?
Well, forts would, but anywhere they used. So it didn't just have to be a fort. They were in other areas too. They did a lot of trapping and everything.
Did they do documentations around it?
They did documentation about everything. They kept records of everything.
Yeah.
So yeah, the Hud Bay piece is
Everything
like this. Like you said, you heard about it. It came out like a day ago, and it's pretty big.
Yeah.
So yeah, people are bidding on our history, and they shouldn't be allowed to. So
It was, yeah.
Yeah.
Somebody big.
In a week.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'm probably trying to push that through fast, and I mean.
well, that's exactly it. But before we can like really act on it, so it's kind of got to go fast. So sorry. Okay, those are the three things.
So I'll go back to two, for a little bit.
Yeah.
Sorry, Council. Because since we have a policy for 1 year, but we are going for 6 months, right? I just need a quick consensus from Council for documentation purposes.
Yes, like six month review of contractor consultants every 6 months, just
Instead of 1 year.
instead of one.
Right now it's
Yeah, second that.
Yeah.
it's 1 year in the policy right now.
Need to move it. Doug moved it.
I'll second that.
Any second.
Doug
All in
moved it, any
favor?
second.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Motion carried.
Since it is a policy change, so
Yeah. Oh yeah, no, for sure. No,
Yeah,
thanks,
thank
Towfiq.
thank you.
Okay, I think that's it.
We are going to
Um,
one.
Now we go in camera.
Now we're into in camera. I'd like to thank everybody for joining us live. YouTube or.
They can't see us.
Oh yeah, they can't see us. Oh yeah, bye. Yeah, we hear the voices. Yeah.
Have a great weekend and long weekend. Okay, Rezzy. We are done.